Well, hi y'all, it's your native Flor-xan. I got another one of them prep ahead meals today, so hang in there and let me show you what we got. Alright, so folks, today we're going to be making a pepper steak, but not my father's pepper steak. You know, he normally would take some kind of a cheap cut of steak like we're going to do, and then he just put bell peppers and onions in it and so on and so forth. So living here in Texas, I've learned about poblano peppers, Anaheim peppers, and more about jalapenos. So we're going to start off with some of those. I'm going to speed that process up for you. We're going to roast them out on the burner, get them nice and charged, and then we're going to bowl them up, let them set, and I'll show you everything that we're going to do with those until we get them cut up and prepped so that we can throw them in the pot today. So let's get started. Okay, folks, we're going to get these poblanos charred up nice and good and get them blackened real nice so that the skins come off them real easy. Get them done. We'll place them in a bowl with a lid on it, kind of let them steep up in there. Then we're going to grab them Anaheims, get them on there. Going to kind of turn them up and down, make sure we get the char all the way around with that curve in them. They don't always get good and charred unless you kind of play with them a little bit. And then after we get those in the bowl, then we'll grab our jalapenos, get them nice and charred up as well, and then we'll let them steep probably a good 15 minutes or so in the bowl with the lid on it, and then take them inside and rinse the skins off of them. All right, so next here I'm just rinsing them off in a little bit of cool water, and my garbage disposal is pretty good. It can handle them skins, but if yours can't, you might want to do this into a bowl and then throw it in the trash when you get done. But we're just going to get all that black skin rinsed off of them and go from there. All right, so now we're past all that. I'm just going to cut these up and de-seed them and finish prepping them up to slice up for our pepper steak. Alright, so we got all that cut up. I'm just going to put it in a bag and put it in the fridge overnight, and we'll get these working when we go to cook our pepper steak tomorrow. Alright folks, so now that the vegetables are prepped, we're going to move on to our meat. And what I got here is just some round tip steak that I picked up. A lot of people call it Milanese. I think that's how they say it, Milanese. Anyways, we call it round tip steak. So we're just going to get this out of the package real quick. And then what I want to do is cut it up into strips to cook in our pot. Now this is a thin cut of beef. It'll cook up nice and quickly. So I'm just going to take it out here, cut it up into strips, throw a little seasoning on it, and then go from there. And if you're looking at that little bit of browning in the meat is not bad as long as it doesn't smell rancid. And I just went ahead and smelled some of it. Packaged today. Always check your meat, folks. I've had some bad experiences, and even from reputable places that I buy stuff, every now and then something will get by them. So a little bit of browning, that's just aging on the beef. Again, as long as it doesn't smell rancid, it'll be fine. And so here we're just going to start cutting our strips. I'm going to keep going on this, and I'll bring you back when we go to season and get them in the pot. Alright, so real quick, we're going to add a little bit of olive oil in here. You could use avocado oil or any other kind of oil you want to use. I normally use either olive oil or avocado oil. And then I got some of that stale cracker Trinity. I'm just going to add a touch of this in here just to add us a little bit of herbal flavor. That's good stuff right there. Go out and get you some. Gonna crack some black pepper on it. Can't never have enough black pepper on beef. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of celery salt. You know, I don't use a lot of salt in my cooking, but for this I want to add a little bit of celery salt, just keeping up with that herbal stuff. Going to give this a toss, kind of work it around, and then I'll get the Dutch oven set up and we'll get to cooking this dude. Alright folks, getting our pan heated up. I'm going to start off with a half a stick of butter. Get that to start melting down. Alright, so our butter's nice and melted. We're going to pitch our steak off in here and just kind of let that do its thing. Get browned up. Then we'll start adding the rest of our ingredients. Starting to get there, starting to get there. We'll give her a little more heat. Just going to add a little house seasoning to it. Alright, so you notice our meat's browned up pretty good. There's a lot of juice in there. And so the first pepper that we're going to add is just some bell pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and add the onions since they are raw. And lid this up and let them start cooking down in there. Alright, so now that our peppers and onions are kind of softened up some, they're about the consistency of our poblanos, our Anaheims, and our jalapenos we did. I'm just going to go ahead, I'm not going to add all these in here. I'm going to save these and make something else with them. But we'll go ahead and stir them up, let them get incorporated. And then we want to cook this until all this gets softened up real good. And to the consistency we want. We're going to probably check it for a little seasoning. I got a few other things I want to show you that I'm going to add. So hang in there. We're getting there. Alright, so we're cooking down, cooking down. So now I want to add just a little more flavor components to this. So I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce, and then I'm going to add just a touch of some balsamic vinegar. Now I got some roasted garlic here, and when I use roasted garlic, I normally put it in towards the end of a cook. We're going to go almost a tablespoon there. And the reason being is because the garlic's already cooked and I don't want it to overcook in the pot, so to speak. So we're going to get all this mixed in real good. I'm going to let it keep cooking without the lid on it. Alright folks, so we got a lot of that liquid cooked down. There's still some in there. I'm going to add 1 packet of some low sodium brown gravy mix. Now I'm not trying to make a sauce on this per se. I just want it to have just that little bit of gravy to help everything stick together. And so we'll get this mixed in. If it looks like it's getting a little too thick, we're going to add a little bit of bone broth to it to help thin it out. So we hadn't added anything in it yet, but I can already see it's getting a little too thick. I had to change my can out to keep my fire going. Alright, so I'm just going to add just a little bit of this in there. Because again, I don't want it real thick gravy-ish. I just want enough of that in there to keep everything stuck together real well. Alrighty, turn that fire off. Lid it up. We're going to let it set and chill out for a little bit. Alright folks, so we got our finished product here. I let it sit 5-10 minutes. Let's dip a little bit of this out and try her out. So let's try this out. Oh, that's good. That is real good. Them poblano peppers and them Anaheims give it just a little bit of kick. But that is, man, that is good. I'm telling you, get you some mashed taters or maybe a little bit of rice. Throw this pepper steak down on there. You're gonna be in hog heaven. In fact, I'll be right back. Alright, so I had another idea. I had some French bread upstairs and I went and melted a little provolone on there. We're gonna make us a pepper steak sandwich. Guaranteed to be messy. Let's try this out. Try to hold it over this plate as best I can. Ooh, couldn't get a bite on it. Couldn't unhinge my jaw. Man. Good Lord, that hits the spot right there. All I can say is try it out. Not my father's pepper steak, but it turned out really good. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you try it out. Thanks to all you subscribers. We'll see you on the next one.